Hey Reddit, I never thought I'd be one of those guys posting here, but I guess when your whole world implodes in under a month, you start reaching out to strangers for clarity. I'm a 34-year-old guy and my wife, let's call her Lisa, is 32. We've been married for 6 years, together for 8. Honestly, I used to think we had one of those solid, against all odds type relationships. We met in a coffee shop when I spilled my drink on her laptop. I paid to get it fixed, she agreed to let me take her out, and the rest was history. We had fun together, laughed a lot, and even during tough times, my dad's cancer, her job layoffs, we leaned on each other. Or so I thought. About 3 months ago, things started to shift. Nothing huge at first. Just little changes. She started coming home later than usual from work. Said she had meetings or was grabbing drinks with coworkers. I didn't think much of it, I trusted her. We never had big jealousy issues before. But then the phone thing started. She used to leave her phone lying around all the time. Now she took it with her even to the bathroom. Changed her passcode. Turned off notifications. When I joked about it once, she just said, "You never cared before, why do you suddenly care now?" with this cold little smirk. I brushed it off. But I'd be lying if I said it didn't bug me. She also started putting more effort into how she looked. New lingerie. Waxing again, which she hadn't done in over a year. She once told me it was too painful to bother with. She even started wearing perfume to work, which she never did before. And the intimacy? That changed too. Not gone completely, but off. Like she was somewhere else in her head. Some nights she was distant and wouldn't even let me touch her. Other nights she was unusually aggressive, like she was trying to prove something. At first I blamed myself. Maybe I'd gotten boring. Maybe I wasn't as attentive as I used to be. Work had been stressful and I wasn't exactly in peak shape anymore. I even started hitting the gym again, thinking maybe I could reignite that spark. But deep down I knew something was off. Still I kept telling myself, don't jump to conclusions. Don't be that guy who accuses his wife without proof. She's probably just stressed. Women go through phases, right? But then, I found something. And that's when everything unraveled. Alright, here's where things went from maybe I'm overthinking this, to holy sh*t, my marriage might actually be on fire. It was a Thursday. I remember because Lisa had said she was working late. Again. She claimed her team was closing out a campaign and they were all staying back for final edits. Fine. That happens. I even texted her around 7 p.m. to ask if she wanted me to order her favorite Thai takeout for when she got home. No response. An hour later, still no reply. I figured she was just busy, but something just gnawed at me. Like this uncomfortable pressure in my chest. I looked over at her iPad on the kitchen table, the one she always forgets to charge. Normally it's dead, but this time it wasn't. Screen lit up. Notifications. Now look, I'm not proud of what I did next. I opened her iMessages. Not because I didn't trust her. Okay, actually, yeah. I didn't trust her anymore. Something was wrong and I needed to know. And there it was. Messages from someone saved as Jordan W. I didn't recognize the name. The most recent one read, "Can't wait to see you tonight. Same hotel?" Her response. Of course. Room 418 winking face. I felt my entire body go cold. My hands started shaking. I scrolled up. There were weeks of messages. Flirty, sexual, even intimate. She talked to this guy about our fights. About me. Called me boring, said I didn't see her anymore. Told him she felt alive with him. That he made her feel like a woman again. I couldn't breathe. I took screenshots of everything and airdropped them to my laptop. Not because I wanted to keep them, I wish I could unsee them, but because I knew she'd delete it all if I confronted her. I sat there for over an hour just stunned. Like someone had unplugged me from reality. Every sweet moment we'd ever shared, every kiss, every inside joke, every night we spent curled up on the couch, it all felt like a lie. I didn't know who this woman was anymore. And I didn't know what the hell I was going to do when she walked through that door. So yeah, I waited. I didn't text her. Didn't call. Just sat in the living room like a statue, laptop open with the messages pulled up, heart pounding like a war drum. Every noise outside made me jump. It was like waiting for a bomb to go off, except the bomb was my wife. She finally came home a little after midnight. Hair a little messy. Makeup smudged. She smelled like a mix of wine and someone else's cologne. That one really hit. I didn't say anything at first, I just looked at her. She looked surprised to see me up. "Hey babe," she said like nothing was wrong, kicking off her shoes. "You're still up?" I said, "How was the hotel?" Her face changed instantly. Just for a second. That flicker of panic, she tried to swallow it but I saw it. And then came the lies. What hotel? What are you talking about? She laughed nervously. I told you I was working late. I spun the laptop around. Silence. Absolute silence. She stared at the screen for maybe 10 seconds. Then she looked up at me, and do you know what she said? You went through my messages? Like I was the one who had just detonated our marriage. I couldn't believe it. She went full gaslight mode. Accused me of being controlling, insecure, said I violated her privacy, and that I had no right to spy on her like that. I was just sitting there trying to wrap my head around how the woman who betrayed me so deeply could still make herself the victim. It was almost impressive in a horrifying way. When I asked her about Jordan, she rolled her eyes like it was inconvenient to even explain. It was nothing. Just some harmless fun. We didn't even sleep together that often. That often. I didn't even know how to respond to that. She admitted they'd met at a networking event. He was in marketing too. She said it just happened. Said she was unhappy and didn't know how to tell me because she didn't want to hurt me. Well, the irony. I asked her straight up. Do you love him? She paused for way too long. Then she said, I don't know. But I don't love you the same anymore either. That was it. That was the line that broke me. So yeah, after she dropped that line, I don't love you the same anymore either, it was like everything inside me went numb. I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I just shut down. She tried to keep talking. I think she expected some kind of back and forth. Maybe a fight. Maybe for me to beg her to stay, or to argue that we could work through this. Instead, I just stood up and said, get out. She blinked like I slapped her. What? I pointed to the door. You're not sleeping here tonight. Go be with Jordan. Isn't that where you were headed anyway? She crossed her arms and went into this cold, defensive posture. The kind of body language that said, this isn't my fault, you're overreacting. She actually said, you're being immature right now. We need to talk about this like adults. That made me snap. I raised my voice, really raised it, for the first time in years. I told her she could go have her harmless fun, somewhere else. That I wasn't her doormat, her fallback plan, her emotional punching bag. I said I didn't even know who the hell I married anymore. She had the audacity to roll her eyes. Finally, she grabbed a bag, threw some clothes in it, and said, fine. If you want space, take it. But don't act like you're some perfect husband. You checked out a long time ago. That was her parting shot. She slammed the door, and just like that, she was gone. I stood in our kitchen at 1 a.m., staring at the empty doorway, hearing the sound of her car driving off. It felt like the air had been sucked out of the house. I sat down on the floor and didn't move for 2 hours. Didn't cry, didn't speak. Just sat there with the realization that my marriage, my life as I knew it, had just imploded in real time. Funny how everything can fall apart in a single night. I didn't sleep that night. Not even a minute. I just laid there in our bed, well, my bed now, I guess, staring at the ceiling while the silence swallowed everything. Her pillow still smelled like her perfume. That soft vanilla one she started wearing recently. Probably for him. The sun came up, and with it came reality. No dream, no reset button, no, this was just a fight. This was real. She was gone. And she'd chosen someone else. The emptiness hit me like a wave. I don't even remember getting out of bed. I just remember standing in the kitchen, staring into the fridge like I expected it to have answers. I hadn't eaten since lunch the day before, but food didn't even seem like an option. My stomach was a tight knot of nausea and disbelief. Then I saw her coffee mug, the dumb one that said, but first, coffee hot beverage in glitter letters. She used it every morning without fail. I couldn't even look at it. I threw it in the trash. Couldn't bring myself to smash it. Smashing it felt too much like closure. Around 9 a.m., my phone started buzzing. It was her. I stared at the screen for a long time. I didn't answer. She texted instead. Can we talk today? I think we both said things we didn't mean. That made me laugh, like actually laugh out loud. Bitter, cold laughter. Things we didn't mean? Lady, you literally said you didn't love me anymore. That's not something you just walk back after a good night's sleep. Then she followed it up with, I didn't sleep with him last night, BTW. I stayed at Jess's. I swear. As if that made it better. The audacity of trying to play the damage control game after everything came out was unreal. Like I was supposed to give her a gold star for not cheating on me again that night. I didn't reply. Not right away. I needed to breathe. I needed to think. But in that moment, one thing became painfully clear. This wasn't just a bad patch. This wasn't fixable. She hadn't made a mistake. She had made a choice, over and over again. So that morning, after dodging her texts and pacing the house like a ghost, I finally called my older brother, Mike. Now, Mike's not the emotional type. He's a mechanic, lives with his wife and 3 kids, and normally thinks anything more personal than football scores is too much drama. But I needed someone who wouldn't sugarcoat this, and Mike's always been blunt. I called, and as soon as he picked up and said, "Yo, what's up?" I cracked. I didn't even get the full sentence out. Just blurted, "Lisa's cheating on me, man." He went silent for a second, then, "Wait, what? Are you serious?" And I lost it. Not sobbing or anything, just this broken stream of words. I told him everything. The texts, the hotel, the lies, her reaction, everything. I felt like I was vomiting up the last 8 years of my life. He listened quietly, didn't interrupt. And then he said something I'll never forget. "I never liked her." I was stunned. He went on. "I didn't say anything because you looked happy. But she always gave me this fake vibe. Like she was playing some long game. Cold, manipulative. I thought I was just being paranoid. That hit me harder than I expected. Because Mike doesn't say sh*t like that unless he means it." Then he said, "You didn't deserve this. No matter what you did or didn't do in that marriage, no one deserves to be lied to like that." I don't know what it was, maybe the way he said it, maybe hearing it out loud from someone who actually knew me, but it made the fog start to clear. I realized I'd been minimizing everything, rationalizing her behavior, thinking I must have been part of the problem. But now I saw it plainly. Lisa chose to betray me, repeatedly, and I kept making excuses for her. Mike told me to come stay at his place for a few days if I needed to. Said he'd help me move stuff or talk to a lawyer, whatever I needed. I didn't go, but the offer meant more than he knows. For the first time in days, I didn't feel completely alone. So about 2 days after the blow-up, Lisa showed up at the house. No call. No warning. Just the sound of her keys in the door, like everything was normal. Like she hadn't detonated our marriage and ghosted into the night. I was in the middle of eating toast and trying not to stare at the empty chair across from me when she walked in. Hair in a ponytail, oversized hoodie, fake, apologetic face on like she'd just come from yoga class, not from sleeping with another man. She said, "Can we please talk?" and sat down without waiting for an answer. I didn't say a word. Just stared at her. She started talking like she was reading from some emotional hostage script. "I made a mistake. I didn't mean for it to go that far. I felt like we were growing apart and I didn't know how to fix it. He was just a distraction." A distraction? That word pissed me off more than anything. She treated our marriage like a Netflix show she was bored of, and he was the shiny new thing to swipe to. Like I was a background noise in her little soap opera. Then came the kicker. "But I still love you. I want to work on this." I almost laughed. She said it like she was doing me a favor. Like I should be grateful she still loved me enough to consider giving me a second chance. I asked her why she didn't come to me before it got this bad. Why she didn't tell me she was unhappy. You know what she said? "Because I didn't think you'd care." That one stung. I told her I did care. I always cared. She just stopped looking at me long before I realized she was gone. She cried. A lot. The kind of tears that felt more performative than sincere. I'd seen real pain before. This wasn't that. This was panic. Panic that she got caught. Panic that her little side thing wasn't going to turn into a fairy tale after all. Then she said something I'll never forget. "He doesn't want anything serious. He's married." My jaw hit the damn floor. She was the other woman in someone else's marriage. She was cheating on me, with someone cheating on his wife. And she thought that was something I needed to know? Like what? That was supposed to make me feel better. "Oh, don't worry, babe, I wasn't in love with him. I was just helping him betray his wife too." That was the moment I knew it was over. Not maybe. Not, let's try counseling. Not, let's separate and think. No, done. So yeah, after she dropped the "he's married" bomb like it was just a fun fact and not a complete moral black hole, something in me flipped. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just stood up and said, "You need to leave. Right now." She froze. "What do you mean?" "I mean pack your sh*t and go. This marriage? It's done. You made sure of that." She got defensive instantly. "Are you seriously just giving up? After everything we've been through? After 6 years?" I told her, "You gave up the second you took your clothes off for someone else." She tried to spin it again, saying I was being cold, and not even giving us a chance to repair this. Then she pulled out this line, I'll never forget it. "I only cheated because I thought you stopped loving me." That was her excuse. Like love is a light switch and cheating is a natural reaction to dimmed feelings. I said, "No, Lisa, You didn't cheat because I stopped loving you. You cheated because you stopped loving me, and you didn't have the guts to admit it until you got caught. Then she started crying again, hard this time. Real or not, I didn't care anymore. I was too exhausted. She begged to stay. Said she had nowhere to go. Funny, I thought Jordan the married marketer might have a nice hotel room ready, no? I told her I didn't care where she went, she just wasn't staying here. Not under my roof. Not in the bed she so casually desecrated. She left that afternoon with 2 bags and slammed the door behind her. Again. But this time I locked it. That night I slept alone for the first time in years. And for the first time in weeks, maybe months, I actually slept through the night. So after she left, it was quiet. Too quiet. You don't realize how much space someone takes up in your life. Their voice, their routines, their perfume in the hallway, the way they hum while brushing their teeth, until it's all gone. At first it was peaceful. Like ripping off a bandage. It hurt, but at least it was clean. I didn't have to pretend anymore. I didn't have to play happy husband to someone who was already gone. I ate cereal for dinner. I left dishes in the sink. I reclaimed my space. But after a couple days the silence stopped feeling peaceful. It started feeling loud. I'd walk past the closet and see her empty half. Open the drawer where she kept her scrunchies and find one still tangled in the corner. Her shampoo was still in the shower. Her Spotify account was still logged in on the TV. The last playlist she played was titled Midnight Drive. Who the hell was she driving with? Then the text started coming again. First it was the guilt-trippy kind. You really won't even talk to me? So this is how we end? Then the emotional whiplash kicked in. I miss you. I messed up. I'm so sorry. Please talk to me. A few hours later. You're a coward for walking away. Then. I'll do anything if we can just try. One night I actually considered answering. I typed out a long response. Something about how broken I felt, how she didn't even understand what she did to me. I wanted her to see me, to feel even a fraction of what I was going through. But I deleted it. What? Because I realized I was talking to someone who didn't deserve that kind of honesty anymore. She used my trust like a doormat. She weaponized my love. And I wasn't about to hand her my heart again just so she could drop it harder the second time. But I'd be lying if I said it didn't hurt. I missed her. Not cheater Lisa. But the Lisa I thought I married. The version of her that maybe never even existed. And I started wondering, was I ever really loved? Or was I just a placeholder until she found something more exciting?